Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's Fresh as Def Jeff here again with another video. Like I said, I'm dropping videos back to back this year. We ain't gonna stop. We're going to the top. But I'm happy to be back. Thanks to God to be able to allow me another day to drop another video and talk about my life. Whether it's men's fashion, like I said, that's what we're gonna be talking about moving forward here and there. Also, I want to talk about just trends, topics like businesses, mindset development, basically everything that revolves around life in general, even vlogging. I want to get into all that kind of stuff. But this video today is specifically about how I quit my 9-to-5 and became a full-time entrepreneur. Trust me, I want to say it was not easy. It was a lot of struggles, a lot of ups and downs. I feel like some people just still don't understand how this really all works, or what it takes to actually, get to that step and take that leap, to be able to, do the things that you want to do whenever you want to do them, and be able to just not rely on a paycheck every single week or the same thing every single time, because sometimes it takes a lot to build that mindset and to be able to get to that level. So if you're interested in this video is for you. If you want to get out that 9-to-5, and you want to get to that level where you have multiple streams of income, this video is right for you. So stay tuned, and yeah, let's get into it. We're gonna start off where basically how it all started. I was not always basically someone who is looking to lead that 9-to-5 mentality. I wasn't someone who wanted to be a full-time entrepreneur. I never really had that business mindset. Essentially, I was always more of on the creator side. I always created videos on YouTube, whether that was like dancing back in the day. If you remember, I had a Spectral Kids. It was a jerky dance group back in the day, back in middle school. I used to drop videos, edit the videos, meet up with people. Shout out to all the jerking crews from Reading, Pennsylvania back in the day. Shout out to y'all. Those were lit times. We had a couple groups, battles and all that, so that was pretty dope. Then after that, moved on to like middle school, did a talent show, beat the talent show. On the way there, I moved to a different school, did the talent show there as well, and basically won that talent show as well. So I was always on the creator side, never really had that go-getter mindset where I wanted to be this person doing business and stuff like that, or going to college and going and having all these business and stuff like that. It was never like that in the first place. So how it basically all started, I basically started off working at McDonald's actually. So I was an employee at McDonald's, I was the cook, and I was in the back, and I was working there, and I was also going to school. I went to Reading Area Community College, which is RAC Community College in Reading, Pennsylvania. Basically graduated from there, got my 2 years in communications and IT, and I also still worked at McDonald's. After that, applied to a couple of jobs, like 5-6 jobs for IT positions. Had actually 4 or 5 interviews, and none of them worked out. So that was kind of weird. At the time, I was like, does this actually work, or am I just like wasting my time here? So I was kind of confused about how this really works. At the time, I was kind of questioning if I should just continue to, go back to school and get my bachelor's degree. That was something I was questioning at the time. Didn't know if I really wanted to spend all that money and get into, college debt basically, because I had no scholarship or anything like that. I just got by basically with B's and C's and some A's back in high school. So I was always just creating stuff and stuff like that, where I was doing videos, or I was posting on Instagram, I was posting on Tumblr, just trying to gain attraction basically and get an audience of some kind, or posting on YouTube. But I never maintained that consistency. That was always my problem. I never made that consistency over time to actually build something upon that. And that was mainly my main struggle growing up and going to school and stuff like that. Over time though, after I applied for all these positions and stuff like that, I noticed that it became pretty difficult to actually find a job. So I started applying at regular jobs like that everybody else had, which was like Ashley's Furniture. They had Deca, and they had like, what was the other one? I forgot the other one was called. Anyways, but those are the two main ones where I knew most people they were working there. And I was like, they're bringing pretty good money. I wanted to go apply there, and I couldn't get into any of these places. So I was like, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I have something else coming for me. I don't know what it was, but after that, I decided I was gonna go. At the time, I got introduced to a position at a hospital and as a housekeeper. And it was a pretty chilling job. It was a part-time job, you know, and I just wanted to basically, I didn't really have that many bills at the time, so I would just want a part-time job to be able to have fun and just enjoy my you know, that 17, 18, 19-year-old lifestyle at the time, you know, go to parties and stuff like that, and also work on the side and stuff like that. So I didn't have a lot of responsibilities, I could honestly say that, but I was more on the spectrum of just having fun and just enjoying my life at that time. I really didn't know what I want to do, basically. So now I have a college degree. I'm basically working at as a housekeeper, cleaning toilets. Pretty chilling job. I was dropping videos at the time. Still on like, I think it was like trance or something like that, doing dancing videos. So that was something I was doing at the time. And I was also trying to figure out what I wanted to do next, but still didn't have an idea of what was after. Because I didn't want to go to school, like I said, but I didn't also have an idea of what was going to come next, but I knew something was coming next, if that makes sense. So a couple weeks after, a couple months later, you know, after just fooling around and just going to parties and stuff like that, 2016, 2017, those are like lit years, as I mean, most people know, people had a prime time at those years. Came to the conclusion where I was still applying at different jobs to see if I can get a different job, and I came across a third shift position at a manufacturing pre-sorting mail company. It's called Pitney Bowes. So if you ever worked there, you know about the Pitney Bowes company. I worked there for about 2 months. That was terrible, actually. That was one of the worst positions I've ever worked, even though I've never had that many positions, but that was just worse than McDonald's. That was worse than a housekeeper. And I was like, this is not gonna work. And actually that was in between McDonald's and the housekeeper position. So that's how I lasted about 2-3 months. I quit. I was like, I need something basically more convenient for myself to do what I have to do and stuff like that. So at the time, I was working at a hospital. I had a very lenient schedule. I think I was working like part-time, like 11 to 1 or something like that. It was like a couple of hours. And after that, I still had a couple college classes I was taking at nighttime. I ended up finishing that. And then after that, like I said, I was still applying for different jobs. I didn't get to no other jobs at the time. So fast forward a couple months later, one of my friends, close friends, named Louis Yepes, at the time, he introduced me to sales. So I was like, oh, this seems pretty interesting. I want to check this out. What is this about? Just tell me a little bit more about it. That he was making X amount of dollars at this position in sales. And I was like, that seems actually too good to be true. So I was like, tell me how I can, you know, get into this. How can I figure this out? Or how can I get into this position? And he told me, you have to get your license. And I was like, license for what? And he was like, your insurance license. And I was like, okay, what does it consist of? What do I have to do? And this was the hard part. This is where it came into where people give up, where people don't, you know, get to that point where they realize that maybe this is really what they want to do, or this isn't what they want to do. And I came to realization that I had to understand that if I wanted to do this and I really wanted it that bad, I couldn't quit. So that was the point where you had to take risk. I had to take this exam online, get the license, and it was a test you had to take. And the test was like 120 questions. And I wasn't the best test taker. That was one thing for sure. So I was like, I gotta keep studying this test until I pass it. So it took me, fast forward, it took me about, I would say like 6-7 months after taking the test like 5 times. I finally passed it on my 6th try. And that was the day where I was like, things are about to change. Things are about to get really, really good, you know? Like, so I was really excited. I called him. He told me he didn't believe it. I had to send him a picture of the pass exam. And that was me driving an hour back and forth just to go take this test, because you got to take this test either in like Allentown, Pennsylvania, which is an hour riding from Pennsylvania. You can take this in Philly, or I think it was Philadelphia, and the other location was in Allentown. Allentown was a little bit closer. I went to the Philly location one time and I failed it there, and I went back to the spot. The guy already knew me at the location. He was like, back again. I was like, yep, I'm back again. And he was like, all right, let's get it. And then the last test, the 6th test, I was like, man, I'm going in here. If I pass this, I pass it. If I don't, I don't. I kept taking this test. I finally passed it. And then, yeah, a lot of things changed. I was still working as a housekeeper, so I passed it in October. I started taking it around May, so that's basically like 5 months. Finally passed it, and then October, I started October like 28th, October 29th, and every single week I got a deal. Next deal, I was selling insurance, by the way, and like dental and vision insurance. Still doing that today as we speak, just so you guys get a visual of where we're at right now. But we'll get into that in a little bit. Anyways, fast forward, November and December, I started making more money than I was making as a housekeeper, like about the third or fourth weekend. December came, and that's like the busiest time of the year. Well, November 1st is really the busiest time, but I was trying to get the ropes of how to actually do this and, talk to people, because I never even had a customer service job. It was my first customer service job, my first like entrepreneurship job, because you don't have a schedule, you don't have to clock in, you basically work as you go, anywhere you go. So it was really, really different. I was like, all you need is a laptop, a headset, and you're good to go. But after that, basically, the last week of December came, and that was like the craziest week ever, because I made like $4,000 like in 1 week, and I was like, this is not normal. Like, this is actually insane. Like, I was like, I thought it wasn't real at first, but I was like, plus I was working as a housekeeper, so I was like, wow, like I can actually just quit my actual housekeeping job and just do this if I'm gonna be making this much. But obviously it's not always like that. So that's where that's where the ups and downs come in. After that, basically January came around, and I kept just making a good amount of money. And January, like the second week or the third week, I decided I was gonna quit my 9-to-5 job, because I was actually so going back a little bit, I became full-time second shift as a housekeeper, and I was working from 3 to 11, and I would come in, I would study that test while I was at work. Actually, there's little hints there too. I would come to work, I would finish my job like in 5-6 hours, and I would sit down and I would study for like 4 or 5 hours about this test the entire time for the rest of the shift. So I was basically getting paid to study, technically. But I'll take a break, study, go back to work, take a break, study, and it was just that back and forth. And I was working during the nighttime, and I would work selling insurance during the day. So I would work selling insurance from like 9 to like, I would say like 3 or 4. And then I was like 2 or 3, and then I would go to my other job from 3 to 11, and then repeat the process from like November to like January. January came, and I was like, I'm making enough money to basically cover my expenses for like 7-8 months. So I was like, okay, so I might as well just quit. And then I quit. After that, basically just kept doing insurance for about 3 to 4 years. Started traveling a lot. Started spending a lot of money, basically. Obviously really never had it like that, so I was spending a lot of money, buying a lot of clothes, going on a lot of trips, just blowing money left and right. That's where the mistakes come in. Mind you, I'm like, I think 23, 24 at the time. A couple years passed. Obviously we're just, enjoying life. I moved to Philadelphia, and that's when I kind of started YouTube around that time. And if you go back to my couple last videos, I started YouTube around that time. And I was doing insurance. I was living in Philly. I had 2 roommates at the time, and they were both doing insurance. So that was pretty cool. And then COVID happened, COVID hit, and now we're kind of like in the space where I tried to do new ventures, after spending so much money and keep doing insurance, and just trying to figure out multiple streams to make income. That way I don't have to fully rely on selling the insurance. Got into crypto, lost a lot of money basically around that time. My files got corrupted, as I talked about in the last video. Really kind of gave up on YouTube essentially, but kept doing insurance at the time. Lost a lot of money on crypto that I had invested from making insurance. Invested in that, tripled the money, lost all the money because I tried to triple it again. Basically day trading, had no idea what I was doing basically. Lost all that money, had to move back to my mom's house, started from ground zero. Insurance wasn't doing good at all. So it was like kind of, like I said in the last video, starting all over again. It was like, what's really going on now? So now I'm debating what should I do next. It's like April of I think 2022 or 2021. I'm going through a lot of different emotions. I lost like 10 to 15 pounds. I wasn't going to the gym as much. I was super skinny. I was like 145 pounds. Really depressed, really just questioning a lot of things, paying attention to what people were saying, really get into this depressed state of mind and not knowing where I was going essentially. But knowing where I had gone through and knowing what I had done to get to this point, I knew that this is not the end. This is not the end of all be all. Like there's going to be a turning point here. I just didn't know what was going to happen. So I felt kind of struck, just kind of stuck, just doing things that I should have been doing at the time and realizing that like it's going to be all right, but I know that I have to try to do something else. So at that point, I was like, I need more money because I was making crap at selling insurance at the time, and I was like, I need some extra income. And let's go a little bit back again. I'm getting ahead of myself here. When I was in Philly, I started a new venture. I started Turo, renting out cars. So I bought my first car, which was a Toyota Supra, 2021 at the time, a yellow Supra. If I could put a picture, I'll put a picture here. And I started renting that car out. So I started generating income from that as well. Got rented out in 24 hours. So that was pretty cool. And, got a different aspect of how to make money pretty quickly and pretty passive. So I did not move back. We bought another car, and then we bought a white Benz for the business as well. And that started getting rented out as well. And then we got a third car, which was a Toyota Red Camry. And we started renting out that. So I had 3 cars. I was also living at my mom's house, but I was also still trying to work in insurance, and that just wasn't working out. But thankfully, I had other sources of income, making money at the time. Now, fast forward, I was like, what am I going to do? I started doing DoorDash, and I started doing Delivery Dudes, which is 2 delivering companies. Have you ever heard of those before? I'm pretty sure DoorDash, but Delivery Dudes is a separate company in certain areas in the United States that also do deliveries to certain restaurants. So I started doing those back to back, as I was also renting out cars and also trying to do insurance. I was doing a whole bunch of stuff. Eventually stopped doing insurance completely, just took that out. Excuse me. And then fast forward after that, we decided that we were going to move to Florida. So we ended up in Florida. Now, currently to today, we are in Florida, and now I'm doing the same thing. When I moved to Florida, got into a full-time position as an account executive. Decided that wasn't going that well, but I was hanging on in there, moving to Florida. And it was kind of a weird space at the time because I realized that maybe this is really what I wanted to do. This is my first corporate job. Didn't really even know what was going on in there, to be honest. I was just going in there and just trying to do my job and, just basically enjoy life after that. But I was like, this can't be it. There has to be something bigger than this, because I was just doing insurance and I was just doing Delivery Dudes. And I was just doing all this other stuff. Mind you, I came to Florida, still renting out cars. A lot of other stuff happened with the cars and stuff like that. I could talk about that in another video. But fast forward to now, we're still doing insurance. I ended up getting fired from that last position. If you guys want a story on that, on how I got fired from my last 9-to-5 job, which was last year, we could have a video on that. I don't want to keep talking. I feel like I've been talking a little bit too much. I want to know more about where I'm at right now. I can make a separate video on that. Comment down below. If you got this far in the video, comment I'm fresh. Comment I'm fresh down below, because we're all fresh at the end of the day, whether that's your mindset, whether that's your motivation, whether it's your discipline, whether that's your style, whatever that may be. But again, comment, subscribe, and hit the thumbs up, because we need more videos. We need to keep this shit going, to be honest. Thank you guys if you got this far in the video. I appreciate all you guys. I wanted to keep this on the minimal, because I do want to drop more videos and get more into detail about where I'm at right now. And like I said, right now I'm in a good space. I'm doing insurance again, actually. I'm still renting out some cars, and we're in a good space right now. But if you guys have more questions, you guys want to know more about what's going on, comment down below what you want to know about. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll catch you